If you clicked on this video, you're probably wondering, how did PureChiLL join Primal? Well, it's an interesting story, actually. But to talk about Primal, we got to talk about what was before Primal, and that was a Nemesis. Nemesis was a clan full of sweats, scrim players, as you would say, and they were around 2014 to 2015, and they had Frostbolt, Bossjoy, and Enkuch. Now, why did I name those three people specifically? Well, because those are the founders of Primal. The clan ended up disbanding, and this plays a big role into how I got into the clan, because Frostbolt, Bossjoy, and Enkuch ended up founding Primal right after that. Let's rewind back to 2014. I was 18 years old. I just graduated high school, and Destiny 1 finally came out, and I was super excited because as a kid I played Halo 3, and now Bungie was dropping a brand new game called Destiny. Now, I first fell in love with the PvE, but the PvP was outstanding in Destiny 1, and I was hooked. And when I'm telling you I was hooked, I was playing hours a day, and I was really focusing on being a very PvP oriented tryhard, just like I was back in the Halo 3 days. After a while, I started to recognize the clan tag Nemesis while I was playing PvP, and I noticed that these group of players were really good and that they would play scrims on the weekends and during the weekdays, actually. So I was very interested in this clan. After a while, I got familiarized with the name Frostbolt, and I was also in a scrim clan called Audacity. They did 6v6 scrims back in the day, but not 3v3, and 3v3 was kind of more hype and exciting. When Nemesis disbanded, Frostbolt, Bossjoy, and Enkuch ended up making a new clan called Primal, and they wanted to pick up scrim players off rip to have a full roster. So they found this guy named Killer and another guy named BHX. Unfortunately, those two players I mentioned didn't really mesh well with Frostbolt, Enkuch, and Bossjoy, and ended up parting ways from the roster. Now, your boy PureChiLL at the time was playing a lot of 3v3 scrims, and I ended up making friends with this guy named QQ. And me and QQ would play a lot of scrims together. We were kind of like a duo. And the reason why that's so important is because Bossjoy ended up becoming friends with me and QQ and really liked our talent and wanted to get us into the clan. Now, this is around Taken King, and this was a pulse meta. Hand cannons just got nerfed, and Fell Winters was really good as well. And I was a shoddy master, man. I was aping, I was sliding around corners, I was just absolutely going ballistic in these 3v3 scrims. And Frostbolt took note of that, and Enkuch, and they really liked my gameplay. So a combination of me and QQ being good players at the game, and on top of that, those two players unfortunately parting ways, was the perfect storm in order for me to get into the clan. Don't get me wrong, there was a bit of obstacles. They weren't 100% if they wanted to get two players right away. And on top of that, I had the name PureChiLL 420, and back then Enkuch didn't really like that. So it was a little bit of a grace period where they were like, you know, we're not too sure about this. Ultimately, Bossjoy really convinced Enkuch and Frostbolt to get us in, and you know, the rest is history, and we got in. And unfortunately, QQ stopped playing the game because he wanted to pursue college, which was totally fine. He ended up leaving after a year or two, but yeah, I mean, you know, your boy PureChiLL joins the clan. I get ZK in the clan down the road. So, you know, I'm kind of like the origins of how Primal is today. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm just kidding. Ultimately, man, I was super happy I joined the clan. It was a big deal for me. It was a goal that I really wanted and I worked towards. And ultimately, that started my streaming career down the road. So it was a big catalyst for a huge life change for me. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is, man, sometimes opportunities open up and you got to take them while you can, because once those doors close, they won't open up ever again.